I feel like you should just make a series about talking about things and responding to people in the comments to deepen the conversation and bring up extra points and stuff. Well, that sounds like an amazing idea. Before we begin this video, I want to tell you guys about my sponsor. Now, I normally don't do these, but this company seemed really cool and I wanted to shout them out. This company is called BetterHelp. They're dedicated to over-the-phone counseling. They're a 100% online platform that offers quality, professional, and affordable counseling to individuals and couples. BetterHelp has helped over 1.4 million people internationally and has over 14,000 licensed, vetted, and board-certified counselors who have either a master's degree or a PhD. If you've been feeling like you could use someone to talk to, or you'd just like to sign up and check it out, please use the link down below, and this actually helps me out as well. Thank you guys so much, and now, on to the video. Now, for some context here, every so often someone writes me a comment or sends me a question over social media, and I've been saving them for a while so that I could make a video reply. So, let's jump into the questions. So, you think it would be better if we were unqualified for certain careers? Wouldn't it make sense that it would require school to get certain professions? So, here's my thing on that. With the way our education system is set up, it's more of a business than it's actually about preparing you for a mundane job. Now, don't get me wrong right out of the gate here. If you want to be a physicist or a doctor or an astronaut, then my God, go to school. Of course, go to school for that. But I wonder why people should need a degree to be a blacksmith or an electrician, a chef or a welder. See, I want to present you a situation real quick. Say your car breaks down and there are two mechanics right in front of you. One of them says, "You should pick me to fix this car. I went to college, I got my degree in automotive, I know exactly what parts you need by reading the manual, and I can tell you what's wrong with some time." You look at the second guy and he says, "Well, I never went to college. All my life I worked on cars with my dad. I have a passion for them. I figured out how to get a car going without buying the expensive parts, and I'm going to tinker with it until it's fixed because I'm passionate about it and I love making them run again." Now look, I'm not trying to say that people who got the degree aren't interested in the job, but how many times have you walked into an auto parts store or a PC building company and realized that the people in there who got their degrees just did it so they could make more money? How many times were they on the same level as you were or lower when it came to actually working on the machine? Hands-on experience is what I trust, and if some guy came up to me and said, "Look, I don't have a certificate to cut your hair, but I've had a passion ever since I was a boy to cut hair, and I've cut all my friends' and family's hair since I was young," you best believe I'm going to trust that guy. A certificate doesn't mean the person knows what they're doing. School is boring. I'd rather be looking at hot college chicks or daydreaming while I'm in class. But again, I'm not saying that there aren't people out there who study and get their degree because they're passionate. All I'm trying to say is this system we set up to really teach people is nothing more than a business. Just another way to make money, when the fact of the matter is, all anyone really needs to do is look up a YouTube video these days on how to fix this specific thing, and we can all do it. Think about any job you were hired for without any prior experience. They put you in front of a computer for 3 days and teach you how to do the job. We're not stupid, and if anything teaches us, it's hands-on experience, not a book or a lecture for some guy for 4 years. There are children who teach themselves how to code, teach themselves to play the piano. They're not gifted. We all have the same capacity to learn, and I think hindering each other by telling one another that we're not capable because we don't have that piece of paper that says so is a way of convincing more people to spend a few $1,000s for pretty much no reason. I mean, come on. I became a computer hardware technician and a trusted online PC expert without any college. Would you trust me to fix your PC or some random tech from a university? One really cool thing though, certain institutes like MIT offer all of their courses and lectures for free online. I mean, you won't get a degree for studying them, but information should be free. And if you have a passion for something, it's kind of silly to me to lock someone's future behind a $5,000 paywall. My question to you, Barry, is, if money's the root of all evil, is using it for good still evil? The question's meant to be subjective, but I'd love to hear your response. So, I don't know if money is the root of all evil. It just sets some really strange precedences. For example, if I wanted to walk around America and I went into someone's yard and they shot and killed me, that's okay. Because that's their yard. They own that piece of land. The funny thing is, America is a free country, land of the free, but you have to buy pieces of it to exclude it from others? When I was in Vietnam, I would walk out into some random person's field. They had cows and crops, orchards and wineries, and none of it was off limits. I could literally walk onto someone else's property and they wouldn't even care. I mean, why would they? I was just some random guy looking around. Why is it that here in America, if I walked through your property, you'd be able to kill me for it? If America is free, why do people get to buy up pieces of it and exclude it for themselves when all I'd like to do is see the beautiful little creek you got? No, Barry, that's my creek, screw you! Yeah, alright then. How ironic would it be if I was rich enough to actually buy up a bunch of land in America just so I could make it legitimately free? This is my property that I bought in this free country just to actually free it up so people could see it. If that doesn't seem backwards to you, then you're really stuck in this money game here. See, this is what money does. It makes us greedy, but that also isn't evil. It's just small and territorial. If I had an acre of land and I saw someone in my field and I yelled out, "Hey, what are you doing here?" He could say, "I'm just looking around, or I'm hunting, or I'm getting water from the stream." Why should I care? But the mentality with money is, I bought this is mine, how dare this person think he can be here? To me, that's just silly. But then again, I saw a different way when I was living in a non-capitalist country, so maybe I'm backwards here. My friend Adam said something interesting about money the other day. He said humans should have evolved past money a long time ago. I have certain skills that other people don't have, and I could give that to them. And they have skills that I don't have, and they could give that to me. But it doesn't even need to be a trade. See, I think he's right. But I think the issue is, money's a very good way of retaining control over people. I, for example, want to visit every country before I die. But if I don't work my life away for some company for the rest of my life, I won't be able to do that. Where in reality, there's no reason we shouldn't be able to do everything we do now without needing pieces of paper to entice us to actually do it. We know we need to drill oil to make cars run, so we should just do that. We know we need to make food so we can keep each other fed. We could just do that. It's so strange to me how many times I say something like that, though, and people get confused. Like they actually can't imagine doing something for free. But money is a made-up concept anyway. Any job you do for money is a job you're doing for free in a way. We just assign value to this piece of paper. Either way, I have no issues with money. It just makes people weird and greedy, and all over paper that we should have outgrown a long time ago. Good job, smiley face. You're the type of person that I hope to meet one day. You like making mistakes, and that's one thing that I think everyone needs to do as well. What would you say is the most important thing for every person to learn? This one's easy. Learn to love yourself. If you learn that, then you've figured out the meaning of life. Barry, I'm in no way, shape, or form saying that this behavior is valid, but what do you think about the people who say that there really is no meaning? They'll do something for their selfishness because they know it doesn't matter if they do right or wrong. It doesn't matter if someone's feelings are hurt, or they did something wrong because they believe that nothing really has a point to it. Okay, yeah, see, this is the aspect of nihilism that I tend to have an issue with, even though there is truth in it. See, we apply meaning to things. As far as we know, we're the only animal that does this. When I see a shooting star, I give it meaning by making a wish on it and believing that it'll come true. Even though the reality of the situation is there are billions of rocks flying through space at all times. It's not rare or meaningful at all, but because I saw it at the right time, it meant something to me. See, the fact is, as far as we know, there's no point to anything we do. Each of our lives doesn't inherently mean anything. We might just be a smart ape that gets upset at the idea that we aren't important, so we develop icons and celebrities and ancient heroes in human form to make ourselves feel special. Now, this is the issue that I have with this whole nihilism thing. The fact is, meaning exists because I can apply it to whatever I want. Status quo be damned. Maybe this entire dimension is meaningless. Maybe this whole universe is meaningless. But the fact is, if someone told me they liked my sense of humor, that would be meaningful to me. If someone gave a homeless man a meal, that would be meaningful to him. The beautiful thing about this concept is we're the ones who get to apply the meaning. So if someone says things to hurt someone or does something out of selfishness and their excuse is that there's no meaning and therefore it doesn't matter, then they're literally being a hypocrite because they've applied so much meaning to this concept that they're letting it turn them into a dick. If you're going to play with this whole nihilism card, at least be smart enough to realize where the paradoxes are. Barry, you talk about not taking medication to fix your problems, but what if you're bipolar? What are you supposed to do when you stop taking the medication and your mood becomes unstable? Yeah. To clarify this, I know I said before that our culture relies too much on pills to band-aid our issues, and I truly do believe that. When I went to the doctor because I was depressed, he wanted to put me on medication. See, the thing about this is medication would not have cured me. I most likely would have been on it for the rest of my life, and I would have used it as a crutch instead of looking inward and figuring myself out. This is the danger of those pills. However, if you do have a legitimate neurological issue like bipolarism or borderline personality disorder, or you're a lady and you want to have sex without a chance of babies, or whatever else, then that's fine. I'm not saying medication is all bad. I just think that our culture incentivizes doctors to treat us with pills instead of things like diet, exercise, therapy, which honestly were the things that helped me and many others like me the most. And the fact that we offer and prescribe medication over things like that is a bit of a shame. If you take pills because they help you focus, or help you feel balanced due to a legitimate mental condition, then there we go. But if you're depressed or anxious and you haven't tried altering your diet, or sleeping more, or exercise and therapy, and your doctor just threw you pills and called it good, he did that because he's incentivized by the pharmaceutical industry and they're not interested in curing you. They want you to keep buying those damn pills until you die. So how do you harness the subconscious? How do I harness it, or is that a rhetorical question? You guys know how I do it, and it's not totally legal, but goddamn, it's effective. I know a lot of famous thinkers gained their largest successes through lucid dreams. Albert Einstein's speed of light theory came from a lucid dream. Niels Bohr's structure of the atom, the guy who came up with the theory of infinity. And to me, it's kind of amazing that our minds have this information stored in there. All these great thinkers had to do was have a dream and their minds gave them the answer. What the hell? I'd say practice that. It's free, legal, and substanceless. And if you can harness the power of your mind without any external aid, then you'd really be a superhuman. Hi, I really enjoyed your videos. How do you think about things that scare you? I've been wondering about if there's anything after death, but for some reason my mind doesn't want me to go far in this thought process. I know I'm scared of there being nothing and everything I know and love won't matter, but my mind won't let me go past that thought and wants to shut me out of any further thought with fear. But I'm more afraid of not knowing what is next than the death part, but for some reason my mind doesn't want me to go very far with these thoughts. How do you push through fears you face when trying to sort out what the answer is, or at least understand the topic a bit better? Yeah, fear's a tricky one. If I have any advice on this, I would say ask your friends what they think about these questions. See, the thing about these scary thoughts, these thoughts are nothing more than imagination being scary. You have a fear of death, which is relatable to practically everyone, so when your mind shuts you out, go to others and get their input. See, the more you do this, the more it'll instill a normalcy in your mind, and it'll make these kinds of thoughts okay for you. You'll also get comfort in the fact that others may have similar blocks or share the same fear, but you may also find solace in someone else's answer that turns on your creative side. This is where those scary thoughts will turn fun again, and it becomes imagination. That's all that these thoughts are, imagination, and you can be afraid of it, or you can play around with it. When my thoughts become anxious, I sit with them a bit until I can toy with them again. It's kind of like a process of cleaning the gunk out of the gutters. Now, I do have some theories on death that I've gained through my psychedelic experiences. Now, I'm not going to sit here and claim that I'm right or wrong, but this is what I've been shown. So, according to every psychedelic that I've taken, there's no such thing as death. See, we humans have a piece of ourselves that is the least real. It's your ego, the part of us that tells us who we are, the part of us that tells us we like this or hate that, or are afraid of this or that. Your ego is the thing that makes you think that you're an individual. And if you're egotistical, then you believe you're superior to others around you, smarter or stronger, whatever you tell yourself. That voice that tells you this is your ego. And this is what dies when you die. The psychedelics that I've taken have all shown me that our true center is nothing more than a being who watches without judgment. Just a curious inner self that observes while the ego pretends that it's in control. When you die, your core observer sheds its ego, forgets that it was ever Barry, and then bounds itself into a new life. And now I'm a baby boy named James, or a baby girl named Matilda. And I go through all of these human lives because this core observer, this soul, if you will, is learning. And only through living all of these different lives can it fully understand. So when you die, the core observer, the most fundamental and objective you, won't die. The ego, the person that you're very attached to, the person that you look at in the mirror and your body along with it, will die. I know they call this New Age thinking, and again, I'm not going to say that this is true, But this has been in Eastern religions for centuries, and as far as we know, these cultures used psychedelics since the dawn of man, so maybe that's where it came from. Doesn't make it true, but I did want to share. Hopefully hearing this will allow your mind to play with these ideas, and you won't have to be so afraid of using your imagination. I want to thank you guys so much for asking me these questions. I'm so glad I get big questions like these, and if you guys have any questions you'd like me to answer, go ahead and drop them in the comments section of this video. For now, this has been your big brother Barry, signing out. I'll see you next time.